coming through, man.
No, thank you very much, and thank you for that introduction. I think that probably the people aren't that as excited because if it was maybe year 2000, and it's now 2022. So Madalas now, we're getting old. So people most people don't even remember us. I really enjoy it now when someone wants a picture, then they say, no, my child wants a picture. I'm like, no, you want the picture. You just don't want to ask because the child is too young to know who I am. You know that. I've told them the story, so yeah, but we have the picture.
Another thing that I liked about you is that you and Survivor, I've been trying to tell these guys that Survivor's fucking awesome, bro. They don't watch it. I'm the only one who watches it here.
So yeah, it was they got a hold of me, and it was I couldn't get voted off because I had two captains, myself and then Corny Krika was the captain of the other team. And it was an interesting experience. I think that if you're a Survivor fan, I don't know if you watched that, but for 8 days we couldn't find food. We couldn't, we weren't meant to fish. They only give you water. People always ask me, is that really what happens? Did you actually stay in a hotel and that? But yeah, it was an experience, but it's also a reminder for me is that the human spirit, how strong it actually is. At the end of the day, is you can cope with many things that go against you, and that was a good experience and an enjoyable experience.
Was it one of the toughest things you've ever done in your life?
I think that the first couple of days, as I said, struggling, it was a challenge, but it's I've been married twice, divorced twice, so that's the hardest. give me an island any day. It was a good experience.
Yeah, I've got to say that I think Survivor and football best describes life. Would you agree with that, sir?
I think that certainly, as I said, being the captain of my team, the things that you try and convey to your team, not even when you're competing against each other, just when you can, trying to find food and trying to keep everyone together. Because remember, although I'm the captain of a team, each one is actually an individual because they're fighting for the prize money. So as much as they want to be part of a team, you get little clicks there, and that's what happens in a football team, very much so, because you always think of, when you look at, I experienced it when you have a teammate and then it becomes a bad apple because he's not playing or whatever, and he's got an issue with the coach, and it spreads very quickly, and next minute, especially in South Africa, I've experienced and you've seen it where, if the guys don't like the coach or they don't like what's happening, they will play him and make sure he loses and he's got
exactly.
It's a fact. It's a fact. So so certainly being on Survivor, being on Ireland, and being a leader at the time, of my team, certainly you use the same attributes as you try and use when you go onto a football field, how to uplift players, how to give them encouragement to make sure that you try and go out and win the match.
100%, Doug. So look at Leicester City, right? Underdogs. No one ever thought they'd win the EPL, but they worked hard, didn't give up.
No superstars.
You know what I mean?
Not average players, but just units. Not United players. They wish they were still in EPL in years. But
they worked
United
hard.
Exactly.
Exactly. If you do that in life, you'll get far. You know what I mean? It's a simple concept.
Yeah. 3 hairs better than one. What's the perfect quote for unity? There's so many quotes about unity, man.
That's life. Exactly like you said. That Leicester team. I think most football fans, you watch them how they're starting and they continue, and it's month 1, month 2, month 3, and and then by the time Christmas, and you all as football fans think,
there's no
ways they're gonna last. And again, I think that's
the underdog story.
I think that's what's going through with them now. Unfortunately, we all know what happened to the owner, passed away in a helicopter crash. I think he played such an important role at the club, how he uplifted the players, the confidence he gave them. And I know the sun is there, but it's I think ever since the passing of the owner, it looks like Leicester are fighting that survival, which is a club that used to do that, but obviously once he was there, he changed the ambitions and where they wanted to go, and certainly, they're winning the FA Cup and winning the league. It is a challenge, but it was good to see a club that no one expected to go on to win the English Premier League, and not many clubs can say they've won the English Premier League.
You didn't.
No, I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't. I certainly didn't. What we said, clubs, not people. We said clubs for people.
So, how do you have that conversation with your parents where you're like, I want to play football? Because I would have thought like maybe they thought you were gonna play like rugby or cricket or something like that.
I played football from a very young age. I played a lot of sports.
Yeah.
Football for a club called Arcadia Shepherds. So I don't think anyone would know them. Maybe if you're a little bit older, they used to play in what is now obviously the Premiership, but it used to be called the NSL or NPSL. And Arcadia Shepherds, started playing there from the age of 6 and grew up there. And a lot of good players came from the late Thomas Marihaki was also from Arcadia Shepherds. And, played all the sports at primary school, but I went to a high school, which was a rugby playing school. It was I was in the right zone to go from that school from Sunnyside Primary to Pretoria Boys High. And I went there, what's now grade 10, standard 8 for me. I was playing first team cricket for the school, and
Oh, is it?
yeah.
Damn.
And then I did have one or two issues where they wanted me to play rugby, but I didn't really pursue it. But the cricket one, and then eventually I just went to the cricket coach and I said, "No, cricket, you play a whole day and it's a draw. I mean, what's the point?" I think the funny thing is that we all youngsters and we're growing up, and my head at the age of 15 was obviously like most 15-year-old boys. He's thinking of girls and this and that. So when I was in the UK, some reporter had got hold of, he heard that I played cricket.
Yeah.
And he asked, why did I choose football over cricket? And I think he was waiting for some really philosophical answer in saying, they're the baller. I said, listen, there were better looking girls watching football than cricket. That's why I played football, man. So there's no philosophical answer. It was just, that's the way it went. That's where the head was at the time.
Yeah.
Were you a batsman or a bowler?
I actually was a bowler when I was like, grade 7 and 8. Was more a bowler, but I became a batsman. So bowler, I batted number 4.
So all-rounder.
Batted number 4, yeah.
Yeah, all-rounder there.
Yeah, it seemed like it at the time, yeah.
Oh.
I think they were just desperate for
Were you the
cricketers.
only child? Or you got siblings?
No, I got older brother.
Oh, you got older brother.
An older brother.
What did he end up doing?
My older brother. His quick story. My mother left my father, so my brother. A train was moving out of the train station. He fell out of the train.
Jeez.
No, but it wasn't moving fast, and
Okay.
the way he fell, he actually became colored blind.
Okay.
So you could only see black and white. So when my mother moved to Pretoria, he went to a blind school, Princehof, which is in Pretoria, and he got into wrestling. My brother's exact opposite me. He's like, the amateur wrestling where they wear those funny costumes.
Yeah.
Like in rugby where they hold each other's balls and shit.
Yeah, the Olympic race.
He was doing that, and then he played rugby, and he still plays rugby. He's now 3 years old, so he's 51 now, and he still plays rugby, but he's a head coach. He's crazy.
That's
He's crazy.
crazy.
But he's hardcore. He's just a hard oak.
Yeah. And were your parents more proud of him or you?
How are you gonna have to ask them?
You can see the sparkle in their eyes when they look at you versus
My brother's a good guy. A lot of time.
Why did you guys move from Cape Town to Pretoria? Because you were born in Cape Town, right? Yeah.
Like anything, my mother left my father.
Oh, that's it. Oh.
And my grandparents were up here, so she said, no, getting on a train and came here.
And then you came with her.
Yeah. I was 8 months old, so I should hope so.
Oh.
I should hope so. I came with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's also, it certainly didn't come from a wealthy background, but the one story is that my mother was hitchhiking with myself and my brother, and she claims that an I&J fish truck picked her up to drop her off at the train station. It's quite funny. I&J fish truck, fish.
Fish, yeah.
So I said, huh? God works in mysterious ways, I tell you what. Very much.
And then how do you become from, because you start off as a striker to becoming a defender, how does that happen?
Brad Joma.
Oh,
We were at this, what's it now, the Nedbank Cup, which is used to be the Bob Save. And we were playing, not sure who we were playing against, but it was the semi-final, and the late Freddie Banda from Zambia, he got sent off as central defender, and I think I'd only played about maybe 4 or 5 games at the most as striker for Cosmos.
Yeah, you scored against Brian Baloyi once, yeah?
As a youngster.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a different story. Brian used to be a central defender, and that's how I was a striker.
Yeah.
So I played for Northern Transvaal, he played for Southern Transvaal.
Yeah.
He remembers I scored against him, yeah.
A couple.
It's too slow. He knew that's why he became a goalkeeper. Too slow. But so then Joma just, and I think it was still like still in the first half that Butler got sent off, and then Jomo said I'm just going to play at the back, and
The rest
just
is
stayed it.
history.
Rest is history.
You remember how
100%.
he discovered you, Jomo? From Arcadia.
So Jomo, it was actually there's a guy that's a scout for Supersport called Paul Matthews. Now I used to play with him he was Colts and I was 15 playing for Colts, and he said to his dad. Now Jomo used to have Roy Matthews used to be his co-coach at Cosmos. So he told his dad, and his dad told Jomo, and then Jomo came to watch. So it wasn't. It was through knowing someone. I think it's a challenge. Why